Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots. I am Alex.
And I am Morgan. Good morning, everyone.
It is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. And we have a pretty massive stack of tech news to get through today.
We really do. It is a busy morning.
But before we get into the tech, we always like to set the stage. What is the weather looking like out there today?
It is honestly a little disjointed. If you look at the national map, you have critical fire weather persisting down in the central and southern high plains.
Wow, high winds and all that.
Yeah, high winds, super dry. But then at the exact same time, there is a clipper system dumping lake effect snow across the Great Lakes and into the Northeast.
So fire in the middle, ice in the east. What about the rest of the country?
Out west, through the plains and down in the southeast, we are seeing unseasonably warm temperatures just expanding.
And locally?
Locally here in Sacramento, there is a slight chance of rain early on, but it is going to transition to mostly cloudy skies. High of about 67 degrees.
Not too bad. Well, speaking of disjointed, the financial markets are kind of a mixed bag of energy right now, too.
They definitely are.
The Dow Jones closed yesterday, that is Tuesday, up 0.71%. So it is sitting at 49,174.07.
Right.
And the S&P 500 had a very similar bump, closing up 0.77% at 6,890.07. But the real mover, the one everyone is looking at for that risk-on behavior, is Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin is having a moment. It is currently trading up significantly, about 3.9%.
Hovering right around $66,548.
Exactly. And when you see crypto moving like that alongside a tech rally, it tells you investors are feeling a bit adventurous.
They are definitely looking for growth, which, brings us to a different kind of fuel.
Oh, absolutely.
We have some incredibly complex technical concepts to unpack for you today, so brain fog is just not an option, and that is why we are so thrilled to partner with Strong Coffee.
It really is the best. And look, Strong Coffee is premium instant coffee, but do not let the word instant fool you. It tastes just like a traditional brew.
But it is doing a lot more work for you. It includes 15 grams of protein, MCTs, and adaptogens like ashwagandha.
Which is huge for focus. You get clean, sustained energy, but without those terrible jitters you get from regular energy drinks.
Exactly. So if you want to stay sharp, visit strongcoffeecompany.com and use promo code SNARFL for 20% off your entire purchase.
That is promo code SNARFL.
All right, let us jump right into our feature segment. It is time for the Morning Star, which is our Snarful Tech article report.
Always my favorite part of the day.
So, setting the table for you all, the theme today is control versus chaos.
That is a great way to put it.
We are looking at this incredible tension between established systems of record and this brand new wave of vibe coding AI agents.
And our first story is ground zero for this exact conflict. Workday reported their Q4 earnings yesterday.
Right, and the numbers were good.
They were very good. They reported Q4 revenue of $2.53 billion. That is up 14.5% year over year. They beat Wall Street estimates.
But, and this is the crazy part, the stock absolutely plummeted in pre-market and after-hours trading.
Yeah, dropping somewhere between 9 and 13%.
Why does the market punish a company for beating estimates?
Because the market is entirely forward-looking. Workday issued what investors considered light guidance for their fiscal year 2027 subscription revenue.
What were the numbers on that guidance?
They projected between $9.925 and $9.95 billion.
Which is a massive amount of money.
It is a staggering amount, but it was just shy of what the most aggressive analysts wanted to see. But the drop wasn't really just about the math.
It was about the narrative.
Precisely. Investors are incredibly skittish right now about competition from AI startups, companies like Anthropic and OpenAI.
There is this core fear that AI agents are just going to completely replace traditional SaaS platforms like Workday.
Right. Why pay millions for an enterprise HR system if an AI agent can just figure out payroll?
And that is exactly where Workday's CEO, Anil Bousri, had to step in and defend the castle.
He came out very strong against this idea. He actually used the term vibe coding.
Let's define that for the listener real quick. Vibe coding is this new concept where developers use natural language, just plain English, to tell an AI what they want to build instead of writing strict lines of code.
You are coding by feeling, essentially.
Right. But Bousri was not using it as a compliment. He said, and I quote, "No amount of vibe coding is going to produce an HR or an ERP system."
He is drawing a very hard line between probabilistic systems and deterministic systems.
Break that down for us. What is the difference?
Okay, think of a traditional system of record as a vending machine. If you press button A1, you get a bag of chips. Every single time. Same input equals same output. That is deterministic. It is a state machine.
Because if I work 40 hours, I want my paycheck to reflect exactly 40 hours.
Exactly. You do not want variability in finance or human resources. But AI models are probabilistic. They are basically incredibly advanced guessing machines that predict the next word or number based on patterns.
So Puzari is saying you do not want an AI guessing your company's tax liabilities based on vibes.
Exactly. He argued that AI is not a state machine today, and maybe it never will be.
So what is Workday's actual strategy here to survive?
They are taking a hybrid approach. They want to keep that deterministic vending machine core completely locked down for accuracy, but then marry it with AI agents on top for the user experience.
They have been buying up AI companies too, right?
Yeah, they acquired Paradox, Sana, and Pipedream, and they reported processing 1.7 billion AI actions. But the core data stays rigid.
It is fascinating. It is a bet that boring, accurate stuff is still king when millions of dollars are on the line.
Boring keeps you out of legal trouble.
Exactly. But while Workday is trying to keep everything locked down, our second story shows how fast the vibe coding revolution is actually moving.
This one is wild. Anthropic just rolled out a new feature for Claude Code called remote control.
And this directly changes the physical reality of being a software developer.
It really does.
Yeah.
So historically, if you are running a huge code build or testing something complex, you are chained to your desk. You have to watch the terminal.
Right, because if it breaks, you have to be there to fix the error.
Not anymore. With remote control, you can start a coding session in your terminal on your desktop, and it generates a QR code or a link.
Okay.
You scan that with your phone, and you can continue controlling that entire desktop session from the Claude app in your pocket.
Wait, does the code transfer to your phone? Because that sounds like a massive security risk for corporate IP.
No, and that is the brilliant part. The code stays entirely on your local machine. It does not move to the cloud. Your phone just acts as a remote commander through a live bridge.
Oh, I see.
It uses temporary access tokens that completely expire the second the session ends.
So I could theoretically kick off a massive database migration, leave the office, go walk my dog, and if the AI hits a snag, it just pings my phone.
Yes, you just review it while holding the leash, tap approve, and the AI goes back to work on your computer at home.
That is the ultimate vibe coding lifestyle.
It really shifts the job from typing code to supervising an agent. You are untethered.
It is currently in research preview for Claude Back subscribers, but you can see where this is going.
Workday wants you at the desk ensuring accuracy, and Anthropic is saying, go grab a coffee, the AI has this.
It's a totally different philosophy. But if we want to talk about true scale and adoption of these tools, we have to look at our third story today.
Yes, let us talk about Alibaba's new AI assistant app, Qwen.
The numbers on this release are just staggering.
Qwen hit 10 million downloads in its first week.
Which is hard to even wrap your head around. Let's put that in context. ChatGPT was the fastest growing consumer app in history when it launched. How fast did it grow?
It took ChatGPT 5 days to hit 1 million users. Qwen did 10 million in a week.
So it is operating on a completely different magnitude of scale. Is the tech actually that good, or is it just because Alibaba has a massive built-in audience?
The tech is legitimately top tier. Qwen is built on their Qwen 3 model. And the sources point out this is a mixture of experts model.
We hear that term a lot in AI circles, mixture of experts. How does that actually work under the hood?
Think of an older AI model like a single general practitioner doctor. You ask it a question, and that one doctor tries to figure out the answer.
Okay.
A mixture of experts model is like a massive hospital. When you type in a prompt, a router looks at it and decides which specific specialist should handle it.
So if I ask it to write Python script, it sends it to the coding expert.
Exactly. And if you ask a math question, it routes it to the math expert. It only activates a tiny fraction of its brain for each query.
Which makes it way more efficient.
Faster, cheaper to run, and it claims to rival or even beat OpenAI's O1 and Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro in coding and math.
And it even has deep research capabilities, camera inputs, and vibe coding features built right in.
Right. Now, their business strategy here is fascinating. They are doing a total free-for-all.
No subscription fees.
None. They're releasing this completely for free to gain mass adoption across China's 1.4 billion people. The plan is to get everyone hooked and monetized later through enterprise cloud services.
Now, we do need to point out what the sources note regarding the geopolitical context here.
Yes, the reports indicate that these models are required to align with local government narratives.
Right, we are just passing along what the reporting says. The tools are subject to strict censorship based on local regulations.
Absolutely. But even with that filter in place, the sheer velocity of consumer adoption is the real story for the tech industry.
It connects the dots perfectly back to our first story. U.S. companies are fighting over enterprise subscriptions and accuracy.
Meanwhile, Alibaba is just flooding the consumer market to build the ultimate AI super app.
If 10 million people get used to a free AI running their personal lives in 1 week, they're going to expect their workplace software to act the exact same way.
And that is the wave Workday is trying to hold back.
It is going to be wild to watch. Before we wrap up today, let us talk about a sponsor that brings a little bit of that classic analog joy to our lives.
Yes, especially if you have a techie friend who spends all day staring at screens, but loves music and sports.
You have to check out Old Glory. They are the premier destination for iconic music and sports fan merchandise.
They have everything. Vintage band tees, classic sports gear, entertainment merch. It is the perfect place to find a gift.
And we have a great deal for you. Visit oldglory.com and use promo code SNARFL at checkout. You will get 15% off your entire purchase.
That is oldglory.com, promo code SNARFL.
All right, let us quickly recap the 3 big takeaways from today's Morningstar.
First up, Workday. They beat earnings, but the stock took a hit because investors are terrified of AI. Workday's defense is that you cannot vibe code a payroll. They are betting that deterministic accuracy will always win in the enterprise.
Second story, Anthropic.
Anthropic is proving that vibe coding is becoming a lifestyle. Their new remote control feature lets you run complex local code builds directly from your phone while you are out walking the dog.
And finally, Alibaba.
Alibaba's Kin model hit 10 million downloads in a single week. They're using highly efficient mixture of experts technology to offer world-class AI for free, proving that consumer appetite for these tools is absolutely massive.
It really is a battle between the old systems of record and this new era of AI flexibility.
We will see who comes out on top.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.